stuff together, and then we can present a visual to the board. Yeah.
And it's easier for the baby stroller or something else.
Yeah,
to
people
come
walk
in
and they have to
you-
go
you
through the
can-
grass, yeah.
You can just drive it on the grass.
So Christine's working on that. The tennis court drainage area, Christine is working on bids, still pending on that one. You're waiting on two more? Waiting on two more bids.
Talking about drainage, even the outside the basketball court.
Yeah, that's encompassed in that whole area, is what she's looking at,
And
yeah.
you said when on tennis court, you mean that one?
And that's I-2, yeah,
Okay.
because that, the tennis courts and the basketball courts, should be resurfaced next year. I think the life expectancy was up according to the reserve study that we had done. So, and if you look at them, you can see that they're peeling up. But before you can do that, you need to correct the drainage. So that's why that needs to be done this year, so that the resurfacing can be done next year.
Now, in getting your bids, are they gonna work on that swale area? Because there's really no swale, so there needs to be a pitch in that swale.
Well,
So are they looking at
Duffy's recommended that when they were here. Christine's getting some different ideas on that. They recommended a swale area over there, that's an option. They also stated that the hardwood trees are contributing to the drainage issue because of the root base is elevated, it's making the water go back down. Additionally, the roots are encroaching upon the tennis court, so that's gonna uplift it. So there's a couple different things going on over there that need to be corrected with the drainage. So she's getting all the options together. We should have those, I think, in the next meeting.
And while we are on the subject, there are so many places between the two houses also have a drainage problem. Sometimes it's always soggy, it's always wet.
Yep. And that's an inherent quality. It's an unfortunate situation. The ground just doesn't simply percolate in some areas. And then added the fact that you have some zero lot lines and the homes so close to each other, you don't get enough sunlight. Then you have homes that, you only have the gutters on one side, so you'll have stormwater coming down the other side, which adds
which
to
is the side we walk on?
There's
That's what
so
the
many
gutters, that is
contributing
the side we walk
factors.
on.
Yeah,
Our side.
there's a lot of contributing factors to that, and yes, you can put in French drains, and you can do some different things, but, unfortunately, that is how the land was designed. The builder wasn't required to bring in, when they approved the zoning, they were only required to build the pads up to a certain height, finished floor level, and they weren't required to build those up because those are part of the stormwater. So when you have rain, et cetera, those are kind of part of the areas where the water is supposed to drain into. Unfortunately, what happens when it drains in, it's not percolating down. That's the problem. So, clubhouse balances are in process, right? Those are being made, okay?
Let's not fix that, let's
The
put in more
Lions Road
cameras.
fence, the one speed hump that was removed, it needs to be replaced at the residence gate, and the lane restriping are all in the permitting process right now. Mackenzie Engineering passed that in the permitting, so Christine hasn't been updated yet on that, so you don't need further news on that one. The electrical and the fountain for Waterford Court, Russ, the head of ARC, has met with vendors along with Christine, and they've actually narrowed it down to one vendor. However, since Russ is not here, I'm tabling this till next month because he needs to really explain to the board the whole situation, what would be entailed in the selection of vendors. Okay. Anybody have any questions on that one? On to new business. Christine asked if we could have a phone for the maintenance person, Jesus. And the reason being is that she uses Jesus for emergency calls to come repair the gate or come on weekends. I guess he's willing to come after hours if need be. So instead of doing a service call to the gate company or something, he would be willing to come on property on weekends or nights. Additionally, do you want to explain your reasonings? You had some additional, I think you conveyed to me about being on property, you need to get a
Well,
photo.
maybe if he's anywhere and I need to get like right now, then I don't have anywhere wants to help on weekends and at night. And then I need him, so I need to call him. And the other thing is, if we got him a good phone, he could have camera on it too. He could take photos of stuff and show me, oh, look at that drain over there, we need to get someone to come and do that. Oh, look at that, that needs to be done. Because he's very
Valid
observant.
point, because he's on property during the day. Okay, and what would the cost be to add it to the existing plan?
The regular phone, with just texting and regular would be about $45. With texting, with a good camera, I don't see it being much more than 55. I think because it's just being added to our plan, it's not a whole new plan.
It's just gonna be added to the, your plan, or?
That's what I would do, I would just add it to that plan, because if we had to go out now and get another plan, that's it.
Right, the initial person is always the most
Yes.
expensive.
it's gonna cost.
You're talking about the plan or the phone, first the phone and the plan, or just the phone?
Just
I mean,
phone.
just the plan?
That would be part of the phone because it would go through Bristol.
Okay.
So we don't have to take out another plan.
Okay.
So you're talking about a phone, so you're talking about somewhere between $45 and $55 a month.
We'll have to buy the phone
Who
too.
gives us a separate phone?
Pardon me?
He has to have a separate independent phone, right?
Well, that's what you're saying, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
you-
first the phone, we have to,
No, we don't have to get it, Bristol will supply because it will be on their back.
Bristol will supply the phone.
Oh,
The HOA
okay.
pays the monthly fees.
The monthly
What
fee.
Christina's saying, it would be advantageous for her
all right,
because
got it.
Jesus is on property, and if she needs him, she can contact him. If he sees anything awry on property, he has the ability to take photos. And I think it makes sense because, if he's willing to come and do service calls after
He's already
hours.
saved us a lot of money by coming out here, not having to call, the gate company or an emergency.
Okay, I'll motion for phone.
I second it.
All in favor?
I,
Okay, motion carried. Okay, the next item was procedures for acceptance of monthly assessment payment plans for delinquent homeowners. We have, obviously, we still have several homes that are delinquent, and we have homeowners that do reach out, they want to make payment plans. And when they do that, we take a look at how much they owe, what they're willing to pay. And so there's not necessarily a standard, it's kind of based on what they can pay, how much they owe, etc. However, we always seem to run into the one problem, and this is what I want to clarify. When I send it out to the board, it's kind of okay, we'll take the payment plan, but they shouldn't get, amenities back until it's paid in full. I happen to disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. And I know that, some of the board members feel differently, but again, it's a board vote and everybody.
but now, before you go forward, I think we should at least have a minimum amount. I mean, if somebody comes up with a like $20 a month, towards the delinquency, then it's not worth it.
Let me just finish explaining it to you first of all, okay? Here's my position on it. If somebody is having a financial hardship, and they know they owe several thousand or whatever the amount might be to the HOA, and they're stepping up to the plate and they're saying, you know what, I'm having a hard time, but I want to catch up and I'm going to pay this much extra. Okay? I think that you need to acknowledge that they're making an effort, they're trying to pay their bill. I think the way the procedure should be set up is you can't make a standard because not everybody's the same. Somebody might be behind $700, somebody might be behind $7,000, okay? So you really can't say, here's the minimum or here's the standard plan. I think what you do is you look at their circumstance, you see what they're willing to pay, and you set it up, make a payment arrangement, and set it up on a 12-month basis. At the end of the year, you sit down with the homeowner and you say, okay, how are you looking? We want to renew this plan. Can you do more? What can you do? We don't know what their situation is. So I think you look at it on an annual basis. And I do feel that they should get the amenities back because if they're paying the current $235 plus an additional on top of that, because that's basically what we do, is we say you got to pay the current, which is $235, then you pay above and beyond whatever you can afford. Okay, so
Well, I understand.
I just don't think you should punish them by not allowing them amenities to the gym or the pool or the clubhouse or gate access when they're making an effort and they're paying the current HOA fees and they're paying above and beyond. And that's just my position.
Okay, I set standard because one particular homeowner might be paying let's say $50 extra. And then one particular homeowner, we will not allow them to pay $50 or something like that. It's a discriminatory policy, so we should have a standard policy for payment towards the delinquency.
Well,
We cannot have a different policy for different homeowners according to their financial conditions or something like that, I mean, you know.
Well, I
And
understand.
I agree with the amenities, no, because Christine answered very nicely. The moment they stop paying towards the delinquency, she can cut them off from the use of the amenities.
Right.
So that we have upper hand there, right there. So.
Well, you could come up with maybe a minimum payment plan, say the minimum is $100 extra a month, but see, again, you
Yes.
gotta base it on what is owed. If somebody owes $20,000, $100 a month really isn't gonna, that's gonna be forever
That's
paying it
minimum.
off. Do you know what I mean? So, anyway, so basically, we
Yeah, but
wanted
they
to set a
foreclose
standard
after 3
on
months.
this, and the biggest
They
question was the
foreclose
use of
after 3
amenities.
months. Such a joke.
As far as if someone is making a payment plan, should they be permitted use of amenities?
I would say yes.
I'm still, kind of in the middle about that, because it depends, what if somebody owes $22,000, that means our amenities? No. So, I think, like we've been doing, I think every situation is unique, and you have to look at all
I
the
disagree with
variables.
that because I think you fall into your discrimination when you do that. Because you can't make a payment plan and allow somebody amenities and somebody's not. I disagree with that 100%.
That's what I
So
said.
maybe we want to table this to the next meeting when we have more board members available, everybody can think about it a little bit more. And we can.
I'd just like to make one comment to that,
Go ahead, Bill.
for you, for the people that are in attendance here. The homeowners association at one time had $950,000 worth of delinquent payments. $950,000.